Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys how the latest Grand Theft Auto Online update not only confirms what is the reality for all three main characters, but also now officially tells us which is the canon or ending that Rockstar deems to be the official one, as far as the single-player campaign goes. So that was what was so cool about the Contract DLC, is we got to experience a lot of things with these single-player characters. And let's begin in story mode first. So as you guys know, there's three different endings. You have ending A, which is the ability to kill Michael. You have ending B, which is the ability to kill Trevor. And you have ending C, which is where all the characters live. There's no option where Franklin ends up getting killed. And so for the longest time when Grand Theft Auto Online took place before the story, no matter which narrative you went with, it was going to make sense. Because Trevor was in online, we obviously at the time didn't see Michael or didn't see Franklin, but we saw Lamar, even though he never ended up dying in the story. But as long as the game was before story mode, it didn't really matter what happened to the characters during the events of the campaign. Well, in the gun running update, which happened in 2017, Rockstar actually moved the timeline of Grand Theft Auto Online to present day. And this was even confirmed by Rockstar developers and executives in interviews that they did as the Contract DLC released. So Grand Theft Auto Online is now officially in 2021. In a few days, will officially be 2022. And so when Franklin returned, not only did we know, well, he could be alive no matter what, but there were also references of existing characters, Michael and Trevor, which not only means that they are both currently still alive, but that also we could see them appear in future Grand Theft Auto Online updates.
Hey, this crazy dude swung by earlier, dressed like a hobo. Like really on edge. He swore him and Mr. Clinton used to work together. Got really angry when I said he wasn't available. I had to stop him from shitting on the desk. Seriously. If you get a minute with Mr. Clinton, would you let him know?
Man, shit, I know one of the producers around here. I hope his ass ain't at work today.
So now we roughly know the story of Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. We'll talk about that some more in a little bit. We also know that Lamar is still alive, and we also know that Chop is still alive. So that essentially covers the main characters. And we also heard from Lester as well. Lester is still keeping in contact, even though that shouldn't be surprising because we can call him on the phone and he answers. But still, the fact that he's up to date, that right there is probably good news. So now that we know that ending C is the ending where all the characters are alive, that's the one that Rockstar is saying is official based off of what we've seen so far. Let's talk about everything explained with these characters. Let's start with Franklin. So we know that Franklin, by the end of the story, ended up becoming essentially a multimillionaire, starting his own celebrity agency solutions firm. He's basically on top of the world right now. He owns Los Santos. He has major connections with high-end clients such as Dr. Dre, and it seems like there's going to be more in the future. He's very well connected, very well paid. Franklin is the ultimate businessman success. That's Franklin. Michael. We know that Michael's dream was not necessarily to keep robbing banks and committing crimes. His passion was movies. And it looks like he's still doing that because when we drive by the movie studio, Franklin will actually make a comment that he says, I think I know one of the producers there. Hopefully he's not at work today, which means in current times, Michael DeSanta is still making movies for Solomon Richards Studio. It's pretty awesome. And like I mentioned, it would be really cool to see him return in a future update. He's honestly one of my favorite characters from the main story, and I really do hope they give him the opportunity to appear in a Grand Theft Auto Online update. Now, just sticking with the protagonist, let's talk about Trevor. We don't hear a lot about Trevor in this update, but we do end up hearing from the secretary or whatever like the agency dude is downstairs. He actually says that Trevor tried to visit Franklin's agency and he almost pooped on the desk, which is very Trevor. So we know that Trevor is not just stuck in Sandy Shores. He makes his way down to the city. And we obviously know that he's someone who can give us jobs in GTA Online. But we know what he's now doing in the present, which is probably roughly the same thing. It's just he's trying to get involved with Franklin as well. So those are our main three protagonists right there and what they are up to. Let's talk about some of the other characters. We can obviously start with Lamar Davis. Lamar has become the head of his own marijuana business, LD Organics, and actually contacts the protagonist about Franklin running his own company. So essentially, he's made his way up from being a street hustler to owning his own business. We also know that he attends the LS car meet, which means he was there as of July 2021. His custom Emperor with the license plate Lamar G can sometimes be found there. So he is alive and well. He is thriving. He has his own marijuana business. He is associated with other big-time celebrities like Dr. Dre and DJ Pooh. So long story short, Franklin is doing pretty good. Now, let's talk about Chop. Chop is also alive and well, although he is now much older. I mean, he is a dog after all. Dogs, unfortunately, do not live forever. But he's still hanging out with Franklin. He can be seen at the F. Clinton and Partner headquarters. He has gotten much older. Franklin mentions that he doesn't get around too much anymore. And the player can also interact with Chop by petting him. But he is helpful. During the short trip mission Seed Capital, he actually helps Lamar and Franklin fight off some of the Vagos after biting one of them and leading the two to the warehouse. And the agency security guard is actually fond of Chop. He's certain that the Rottweiler could still reach any intruders that might break into the agency and rip them apart despite his age. And the dog also keeps him company during the night and will do anything for treats in the form of jerky. So that's what we know about Chop so far. And then there's Lester. The only thing we know about Lester, obviously we know he's still alive and helping our characters, but he inquired with Franklin and actually shares stories about them robbing the Diamond Casino and Resort. So it's clear that they have a very good relationship if Franklin is being told about crimes that he is committing with other people. Our character. Now, that's probably how he found out about him, or at least other ways that he found out about him.
Hey, look, so I was just on the phone with an old friend of mine, and he told me you and him robbed the Diamond Casino. Shit, that was fly as hell, homie.
And now let's go back and talk about the star of the show here, Franklin Clinton. So after having walked away from the Union Depository heist with well over $10 million, we know Franklin went on to become a legitimate businessman. And we now know his personal life is changed as well. Because despite Tanisha bidding Franklin goodbye the day before her wedding to Jaden at the end of GTA 5, at some point her relationship with Jaden ended, and she would reunite with Franklin. And they eventually started a family and lived together at Franklin's same house, 3671 Wispy Mound Drive, as of December 2021. And now his house is adorned with children's toys, a slide, and ornamental front wall sign reading The Clintons. And there's also two cars parked out in his driveway, a new supercar and a new SUV that has the license plates of Franklin and Tanisha on them. And it seems like Franklin has a really positive family life now. It seems like his relationship with Tanisha is great. It seems like he really likes his kids and is kind of turned into a family man. So anyways, that right there pretty much gets yourself caught up on what's going on with our GTA 5 characters in Grand Theft Auto Online. We now know the true ending of Grand Theft Auto 5 single player, and we also know that it looks like they could return in future Grand Theft Auto Online updates. I mean, we've seen Michael's son, we've seen Ron, we've obviously now seen Franklin and Lamar. Lester keeps getting referenced. Trevor keeps getting referenced. Michael just got a brand new reference, which confirms he's alive. So I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Number one, hopefully this clears up where we are right now in the course of Grand Theft Auto Online, the story explained so far. And I do see there being a good potential for characters like Michael and more returning in future expansions. I think that'd be incredible. But of course, let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.